Hello and welcome to Outsiders Weather and the Skeptics Ice Age Watch, where it's freezing in Victoria and Tasmania. It's been snowing even at the start of summer. I'm not sure you'd say this is usual, proclaimed Master of Understatement Glenn Perrin from the Bureau of Meteorology. Snow fell around the Great Lake Hotel, blanketing the ground and the trees, making it look more like a winter wonderland, despite the fact that it's the beginning of summer. And more snow may be coming tomorrow to Tasmania, which does rather throw the theory of global warming out the frosty window, certainly at the Great Lake Hotel. Meanwhile, Delhi has suffered the coldest month of November in 71 years, kiddies, since before the birth of the Indian Republic. That's one for the climate gurus and warming swamis to tie themselves up in knots over. Meanwhile, as I was saying, the theory of rising sea levels due to climate change also looks like being tossed overboard, according to the latest report from the Global Warming Policy Foundation. Now, remember this clown? UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, the well-known socialist, who, when he's not busy wading out into the shallows to preach climate change dogma, he's busy trying to force us all to give up our private property as part of the insidious and repellent Great Reset movement. Guterres claims, as do Jacinda Ardern, Greta, Dan Andrews, I imagine, and all the bedwetting libs and climate cult lovies, without any evidence, I might add, that the islands of the South Pacific are all sinking. Yet, according to the latest scientific study, one sprawling chain of volcanic islands and atolls, the G Island and the Alang Laklap Atoll in the central Pacific Ocean, have actually grown in size, not shrunk, not sunk, over the past 70 years. From the US National Archives, here is a picture of the land as it was in 1943. And this red outline shows the island as it is today. It has grown vastly bigger. Indeed, here is the satellite image of today, with the outline in red showing how the land was back in 1943. Whichever way you look at it, it is clear that the island has dramatically grown in size. You can clearly see all the new land, including forests and trees. Perhaps Guterres might like to go back on the cover of Time magazine and stand up here in the middle of this dry land well above sea level for his next Time cover picture. But, what about all the bushfires? Surely that's global warming, I hear the lovies cry. Well, that's true up to a point. Here's a report from December the 2nd, the beginning of winter in the Northern Hemisphere, remember? Of a bushfire blaze running wild in Malibu, and I quote, "Fueled by record warm temperatures and high winds, a disastrous fire which has seared more than 15,000 acres in the Malibu area continued to rage out of control, fanned by gale-force winds. Seaside cliff dwellers abandoned expensive homes and took refuge along the beach as 1,200 firefighters battled furious flames. Yikes, it sounds just like the New South Wales coast last year at Chrissy. But don't tell the New South Wales Bushfire Commission or Matt Keane or all the rest of them. That was Malibu on December 2nd in 1958, 62 years ago, long before global warming. And speaking of last year's bushfires, even the Australian Bureau of Meteorology is now predicting that La Niña is underway in the tropical Pacific, and La Niña typically increases the likelihood of above average rainfall across eastern Australia during summer. But hang on.
Even the rain that falls isn't actually going to fill our dams and our rivers.
Didn't the experts tell us that it would never rain again? Last year at this time, Warragamba Dam got down to around, that's Sydney's main dam, down to around 46% capacity. Woo! It is currently sitting at around 96%. What can I say? As I promised Rita last week, If John Fogerty of Creedence Clearwater Revival fame had the chance, what's the one question Creedence would put to Tim Flannery? Told you I'd do it, Rita.